Good evening and welcome to the pre-council meeting for the City of Joliet for August 19th at 5:30 in council chambers. Mayor Terry Darcy presiding.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero. Absent. Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none. Next, we will have the city manager review tomorrow's actionable items.
Okay, is this working? No? Should I just speak loudly? No, it's okay. Does yours work, Todd? Try it. Yeah, I'll use yours. Thanks. Okay, tomorrow for appointments, we'll have an appointment to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, Herb Landy. Council committee reports, we'll hear from the Committee on Communication Technology and Information Systems, the Committee on Finance, the Committee on Public Assets, and the Committee on Public Service. On consent agenda, invoices to be paid, Council Memo 38324, award of contract for the 2024 sidewalk curb replacement project, East Joliet to Davis Concrete Construction Company, in the amount of $294,186. Council Memo 38424, award of contract for the 2024 bituminous surface treatment contract A to AC Pavement Striping Company in the amount of $140,501.95. Council Memo 38524, award of contract for the Union Station roofing envelope replacement to Adler Roofing and Sheet Metal, Inc. in the amount of $167,720. Council Memo 38624, award of contract to DTS for ViewWorks Asset Management Software support and hosting in the amount of $70,000. This is our Citizen View complaint system, and also it serves as a work order system for many of our departments here in Joliet. Council Memo 38724, award of contract to Lenovo for True Scale Managed Storage not to exceed $370,684.21.
Mayor, question. Now, we're talking data storage, yes?
That's correct. So a lot of the additional cameras that we've
Right,
put
we
up
have extra
along the
data.
river walk and
But I thought we
other
were
ways.
going to get a contract with, I think it would be Microsoft, that we're storing in their cloud system. Is that true or no?
I'm going to let Chris Sternal speak to that, but this will be for our video storage, yes.
Yes, so we do actually use Azure Cloud Storage for long-term storage, but there's a significant amount of expense moving data back and forth through cloud storage. So this is an on-site storage solution that allows us to scale with the number of cameras. Most of our cameras, we only maintain that video footage for 60 days. The riverfront cameras being an exception to that rule, and we do actually send riverfront cameras to the cloud for indefinite storage. But this is a much more cost-effective way because the cameras here, we only keep that information for 60 days. So to transport that to the Azure cloud environment is a significant additional cost.
So moving things from cloud storage to local is a costly proposition. Should we be looking at changing all our storage away from the cloud back to a company like this?
No, for most things, because once we get it into the cloud, if it is something we just need to maintain for long term, we actually move it through 3 different levels. We have, it's called like warm storage, which is kind of the most expensive model, but then we slowly degrade it, or I shouldn't say degrade it, but downshift it to various cold storage, and then we eventually put it into what is called deep storage, which is actually very cost effective, but it's expensive if we have to retrieve that data at a later date. So we're trying to use a few different methods to keep costs down across the board.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Chris, can I ask a question on that too? It's $370,000, not to exceed. Now, there's a term on that, 5-year term on that, but how would it not be that much or less than that, or how would that work out?
So we only have to actually pay for the storage that we utilize. So we are making some estimates based on what we believe the storage our storage needs will be 5 years from now. But as you know, these things could shift. And if that were to happen, we would come back to the council to request additional funding. And we also don't pay for things if we don't use them. So we don't need to keep on scaling up, but we're expecting, because of certain projects such as the City Square project, we're estimating somewhere upwards of 80 cameras for that project alone. So we're at, we have a kind of a buffer of about a 20% increase of storage needs in the first 2 years for that project alone. And then we're looking at about a 10% increase after that. If we don't need that, though, we don't pay it. So we could actually, in theory, come in under this amount. It is just a pay-as-you-go type solution.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions on that one?
No, Chris, I'll not ask you to do that again tomorrow.
Okay.
He was going to be a part of our report, so there you
Okay,
go.
great. Council Memo 38824, award of contract for the authorization of comprehensive benefit consulting broker services to Gallagher Benefit Services in the amount of $76,000. Council Memo 38924, award of professional services agreement for the Bicentennial Park HVAC replacement to Johansson and Anderson in the amount of $62,895. Council Memo 39024, award of professional services agreement for the Joliet Area Historical Museum HVAC replacement to Sendra Services Corp. In the amount of $31,970. Council Memo 39124, award of professional services agreement to the Slammers Stadium Fire System update to AMS Industries, Inc. in the amount of $100,868.13. Council Memo 39224, award of professional services agreement for the Billy Leemacher Bicentennial Park Theater seat replacement to Davis Seating Company in the amount of $52,499.32. Council Memo 39324, award of professional services agreement for the 2025 Water Main Quality Sewer Lining Program to RJN Group in the amount of $34,800. Council Memo 39424, award of professional services agreement for the motor maintenance heating system to Sendra Service Corp. In the amount of $94,655. Council Memo 39524, Amendment Number 1 for the Pilcher Park Highland Avenue Culvert Project to Willett Hoffman and Associates in the amount of $4,987. Council Memo 39624, Change Order Number 1 for the Broadway Street Marion to Jefferson Roadway Improvement Project to PT Farrow Construction in the amount of $280,507.46. Council Memo 39724, authorization to approve the proposed renewal of claims administrator. This concludes the consent agenda. Moving on to licenses and permit applications, we have the Deputy Liquor Commissioner, Kevin Kelly, here to go through those items.
Good evening, everyone. All right, I have two here. Council Memo 399-24 is a resolution to deny the issuance of a Class CG liquor license at 3021 Plainfield Road. It's a Circle K. A Class CG license authorizes the sale of alcohol at a gas station for consumption off the premises. The Joliet Police Department has had an extremely high amount of calls for service at this location already, 63 in the last 12 months. Therefore, they recommend denying this license. So based on the liquor hearing, the Liquor Commission feels this license would not be in the best interest of the city and recommends a denial of this license. A quick note, we're asking to deny, but there's a resolution to deny, so tomorrow's vote we're asking for an approval, an aye vote. So it's an aye to deny. Council Memo 400-24 is an application for the issuance of a Class B liquor license at 106 North Larkin, the Big Apple. Class B authorizes the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises. The applicant has over 15 years in the restaurant business and experience with the sale of alcohol. This is an existing restaurant that would like to add alcohol to their menu. The Liquor Commission is recommending approval of this license. Any questions?
I have a question. For a while there, they were only open until maybe about 12 o'clock. They weren't open for dinner, or are they still going to use those
I
same
believe
hours?
they're going to open late. The owner here today? No. I thought, they mentioned staying open later, but I don't know but not into the evening, I think until 3 perhaps is what he told us, to have breakfast, lunch slash
cocktails,
brunch.
right.
yeah,
I just
mimosas.
wondered, because I know
Yeah.
it was only open until like maybe
Yeah, I
1
think they're
o'clock or
gonna
something.
extend it, I believe he said till around 3. I think it was more towards the brunches,
But
mimosas.
not later.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, moving on, Council Memo 40124, application for a drive-through permit for a Chick-fil-A restaurant at 201 South Larkin Avenue.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is the petitioner here, or
I'm sorry?
are they here?
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A? No.
Somebody, a representative? So we have a real problem with homeless.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
In that particular area, and we really, really need to figure out how they can secure the area if they are doing all of this.
Yeah.
Because I understand, I was talking to Councilman Cardenas about it, and he said
Mhm.
it's not gonna happen until late into next year. There are unhoused people publicly urinating and spreading out all of their wares everywhere. Everyone on Jefferson can see it.
Yeah.
And I contacted the fire department and the community cares program.
Yes.
But really, if they don't wanna participate and they don't wanna help, like,
Mhm.
what else can we possibly do except for have the petitioners secure the premises?
Yeah, so we have done some work on this. As you mentioned, Chief Carey and his team has been out there. They were able to get some people into shelter, but just more have come and have not been as receptive to our programming. So we were able to identify it's like a Joliet LLC that owns a property right now. I
Okay.
think Chick-fil-A usually waits until they know they can have their drive-through before they move forward with that purchase.
Okay.
So right now, we're just working on getting the owner who owns a property right now to talk to them about securing it and putting up no trespassing signs and other things. So we can try to handle some of that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mayor, if I may, along those same lines, this used to be the Steak and Shake property, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
There's a small white, like a storage building that sits behind to the south of the original building. And I was over there one day over at Sam's Club, and there were people coming in and out of that little white area. There must have been like 5 or 6 guys. And they were coming out, not looking very, like, they looked pretty high.
Mhm.
So, and then I drove around, and there was like, stuff out there, clothing and
Mhm.
stuff. I don't know if that's been cleaned up yet, but they sneak in and out of there, so they might be looked at too.
Okay, we can definitely look into that. Okay, moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Council Memo 40324, ordinances associated with the re-subdivision of Lot 4 of Casino Parcel at Rock Run Crossing Subdivision. Ordinance approving the preliminary plat of re-subdivision of Lot 4 of Casino Parcel at Rock Run Crossing Subdivision. Ordinance approving the final plat of re-subdivision of Lot 4 of Casino Parcel at Rock Run Crossing Subdivision. And ordinance approving the recording plat of re-subdivision of Lot 4 of Casino Parcel at Rock Run Crossings Subdivision. So the petitioner and owner are calling in, who are doing the huge Rock Run in development for us and just subdividing for the different businesses and restaurants that'll come in. Resolutions, Council Memo 40524, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the I-80 at Illinois Route 7 Larkin Avenue interchange improvement projects. Council Memo 40624, resolution declaring a traffic signal equipment as surplus to be donated to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 176. Council Memo 40724, resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the Broadway Street roadway projects. Council Memo 40824, resolution authorizing amendment to the compensation scale for crossing guards. The pay rate per crossing guard has not been raised since 2015, and it's being recommended that a 15% raise be applied to the different tiers in the program.
Mayor, is that enough? We're having a difficult time bringing people in. They used to get paid 52 or 55 a day. Joe, you're on the committee, right? Do you have any other insight on this? Is that enough?
I don't. They didn't recommend it.
Okay, so I guess we can test it, right?
Mhm.
If that's not enough to attract,
You can always come back.
okay,
Mhm.
fair enough.
Council Memo 40924, resolution authorizing the city manager to accept grant funds under Title 20 of the Social Security Act. Council Memo 41024, resolution to authorize a TIF development agreement with 311 Ottawa Building LLC for the renovation of 311 North Ottawa Street. That concludes the agenda items.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone present that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
In motion seconded to approve, Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried.